On today's Daily Slab, we are going to look at an Ohtani card that just set an all-time high. We're also looking at an interesting shoe post from Mookie Betts, and we are going to be covering a big contract extension in the NFL. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's Daily Slab. Welcome everyone to the Daily Slab. I am Nate, and our trender for today is Shohei Ohtani, but not necessarily Ohtani in that we're going to be talking about stats he's been putting up lately or anything like that, but more specifically a specific card, and that's a 2018 Topps Update short print PSA 9. You can see it here. It has the warm-up jersey, the red warm-up shirt on, and the reason we're talking about this is because you can see this graph. 1 year trend, it is up $105. It's up 111%, but you'll notice that there is a point at the very end that is the tip top, and in fact, if you zoomed out to all time on this card, that would be the highest sale of all time at $199. Now, the reason this is interesting to me, and I think should be interesting to you, is because Ohtani, what has he done in the last couple of years? He won Rookie of the Year, he won an MVP award, he placed 4th in Cy Young, right? The dude is one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. He's a multi-time All-Star, and he has won the World Baseball Classic and led his team to glory on the world's biggest stage, right? Now, before the World Baseball Classic, he still had quite the resume. MVP, Cy Young, we talked about it. And we also went through the COVID era of cards where prices were astronomically high in the later part of 2020, 2021, and the early part of 2022. Prices were insane. They've all come falling back down to earth. So, naturally, I would expect quite literally every single Ohtani card out there to have already set an all-time high that is not even close to being matched in 2023. Despite the World Baseball Classic win, I would have expected his cards to still be lower than what they were doing in 2021, right? Maybe I'm a fool for thinking that, but that was my expectation. So to find a card like this that just set an all-time high with a PSA 9 short print selling for $199 is crazy to me. I find it fascinating that we could have made it this far with this many accolades and we still have Ohtani cards setting all-time highs, and that just goes to show you the power of Ohtani in both the baseball world and just off the field. I hear stories all the time. I saw a thing from Lars Nootbaar talking about Ohtani, and he said he really is. He's the best baseball player on the field, and he's perfect off of it. His interactions, everything is amazing. You see a ton of stuff about Ohtani about, like, I don't know how I forget who they were talking to on Foul Territory, but they were talking about how he can't even leave his house. He's so famous, and it's just one of those things that he pretty much does nothing wrong, and you can tell because his cards are still setting all-time prices. Next up, we have our post of the day, and I think you guys will find this interesting as I found this interesting. And hat tip to Scotty B Cards, who posted this on his story. He's got a great YouTube channel, so you should check that out. But he posted this to his story, otherwise I would never have seen it. And these are Mookie Betts' cleats from Jackie Robinson Day, just this past weekend. And you can notice on the back something very interesting. And that, of course, is the PSA label on the back. A little homage there to maybe his cards. It says 1948 Jumpman Jackie Robinson, and obviously 1948 Leaf Rookie Jackie Robinsons, right? So that's pretty cool. There's also a QR code. You can scan that. It will go. I scanned it just to see where it went. It went to Google. It Googles Jackie Robinson for you, so you can read more about him if you don't know enough already. But it's just a very cool little homage to the card world that, honestly, I wasn't expecting to see, and it has me curious. It had Scotty B curious on his story. It has me curious about what else does Mookie Betts know about the card market. And if he knows about PSA enough to put that on the back of his shoe, including with the word mint, the number, the card number there at the bottom and stuff, is he a card collector? I would love to know if Mookie Betts has a big collection or not, if he is a card collector. I will strive my hardest to try to find that out, because I am now very, very curious on if he is, because you hear about guys every once in a while, but no, I don't usually hear about guys as big as Mookie Betts. I know Chris Bryant collects cards, Jed Lowry collects cards, guys like that, but I haven't heard about an all-time guy like Mookie Betts collecting cards. So I am, and I guess Mike Trout collects his own cards. I've seen that. But I am very curious, and I hope to find out one of these days to be able to report back to you guys that Mookie Betts does or does not collect cards. And then lastly, we've got who's hot, who's not. And our who's hot for the day? Well, who else could it be than Jalen Hurts? He signed a $255 million 5-year extension, $51 million a year, which is a new high per year for money in a year for any contract in the history of the NFL. So he signed that. $179 million guaranteed, so he didn't get the full guarantee, but he did get a ton of it guaranteed, and it's just an incredible story. If you look at Jalen Hurts' career, right, he goes to Alabama. All right, you go to Alabama, you're pretty good. You get benched. You transfer to Oklahoma. You do really well at Oklahoma. You then go, and the guy who got benched for Tua is having his own very good career, but he's not a $51 million a year man. But you go to Oklahoma, you do well, and you get drafted in the second round to be the backup for Carson Wentz. And then Carson Wentz disappoints, and now you are elevated to the starting spot. So now you are the starter, but it felt kind of shaky, at least from the outside looking in. From what I can remember, it felt shaky. And then they bring in Gardner Minshew, and it almost felt like, is he the starter? Is he not the starter? We don't really know. And next thing you know, he is the starter, and he's leading his team to the Super Bowl and signing a massive extension. So it's really been a roller coaster ride of emotions for Jalen Hurts, and yet here we are sitting here talking about Jalen Hurts making the most money per season of any player in NFL history on a contract extension. Just awesome. And the other thing that's awesome about Jalen Hurts is I've heard a lot of things after the extension, and you hear a lot of things in the news, and outside of the play on the field, and outside of him being able to squat like 600 pounds, the things I hear most about him is how good of a leader he is, and how much the front office likes him, how much his fellow players like him, how much I never hear a bad thing about him in the media. And I don't necessarily always put like a bunch of emphasis on what the media reports, because like I'm a Packer fan. Aaron Rodgers is to the media, Aaron Rodgers is the worst guy in the world, right? He's as bad as it gets. And then you hear from players that are on the Packers, James Jones, former teammate, Jordy Nelson, guys like that, and they all love Aaron Rodgers. So there's obviously a disconnect there where it's like, all right, so the players that play with him and know him the best every single day really like the guy, but the media really hates him. Now, we'll see what happens once he's officially gone from the Packers. Maybe the players are going to turn on him because he's no longer the quarterback and no longer responsible for pretty much their salaries, because the way he plays is how they get paid, especially if you're a wide receiver. So we'll see. But usually I don't put a lot of emphasis on the media. But when it's both media and front office and players all singing the praises of a guy, that is pretty special to me. And Jalen Hurts is definitely special. Regardless of the stats on the field, which were amazing last year, this is clearly a guy that people would run through a brick wall for, even the front office, because they just paid him a ton of money. And so it's really cool to see, and his card market is also on the move. You can see this 2020 Optic Downtown Rookie PSA 9. It's up 73% in the last year, which is pretty stinking good, from $504 to $870. And you can even see the last two sales significantly up after the extension news, though there was one before that was higher back in like March. So it hasn't gone higher than it was back in March, but it's still up since the last sale. But it's really cool to see up 73% and see how his career has unfolded, because it really is kind of a Cinderella story, so to speak. And fun to watch from afar. Lastly, if you like this video but you want some written content, you can check out the Daily Slab newsletter, which comes out Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and it has for the last 4 years. And in there, we have a couple write-ups, and we have some curated links from eBay and PWCC of interesting cards that are ending either on the weekend for PWCC or every day for eBay. So if you are interested in that, or maybe want to try it out for a small time, you can sign up at SlabStox.com. It will be the first box you see. You put your email in there, and you will be able to get a sports card-related newsletter every single morning, every day of the week. Alright, thank you everyone for watching today's Daily Slab. If you like this video, please click that like button, and don't forget to hit that subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow for the next Daily Slab. See you everyone.